What is up, guys and girls? It's time to head off on another Pokemon Go adventure. We jumped on our favorite website, allpokestops.com, and set up our route. This is the same route that we've done before. We went ahead and did the math, hit each Pokestop, assuming that we're going to get about 2 Pokeballs per Pokestop. We ended up getting about 110 total, which was really good because we went ahead and parked at a park and started catching Pokemon, and then took off across the street and decided to help out one of our friends' gyms, and ended up power leveling it up to a level 8 gym, and we all stuck our Pokemon in there. It was pretty fun. As you can see here, we're cruising down the street. Coming up on this street, it's a street that's nothing but car dealerships, and every single car lot is a Pokestop. As you can see there, I got 3. Right across the street is another one. Get another and another one. And this goes on for a little while, but while this is happening, I want to talk to you guys about EV evolutions. Recently, in one of my last videos, we did the whole using the EV based off their move to evolve them. That's not accurate. We went ahead and did a little more research, and apparently if you name them Pyro, Sparky, or Rainer, that is the actual way to evolve them correctly into a Vaporeon, Jolteon, or Flareon. Uh, Recently, actually, while I'm recording this, Comic-Con happened, and the creator of Pokemon Go, who works for Niantic, released a lot of information about that, even hinted at the fact that that's not going to be the only little Easter egg like that as far as Pokemon evolutions or anything else related to Pokemon goes. They did hint at possibly introducing second gen Pokemon in the next update, along with trading and a few other great key aspects. But enough about that. What I do actually want to touch on this video is the gym battling system. What I'm noticing is a lot of people actually don't even understand what they're doing in the gym. So you get to the gym, and if it is an opponent's color or the same color that you are, or team rather, you can fight it, whether it's yours or not. So fighting when it is yours is actually going to increase the gym's level the more Pokemon you take down, to help you put another Pokemon in there to help defend it. Whereas if it's not the same team, you're actually going to slowly be pulling one away. So let's talk about if it is the same team. So you level it up, it opens up another slot, and when you're on the gym itself, in the bottom left, it's going to have a symbol and a plus, and that's to add another Pokemon. And then you choose one of yours, your Pokemon goes in there, and then that Pokemon is no longer accessible when you go to fight another gym. The good thing about that, when you have a Pokemon in there, every 21 hours, if you tap your little Pokeball, you tap on the shop, and then up in the top right, and I'm actually doing this right now as we're talking, it's going to be a shield symbol, and it's going to say collect now as soon as you put one in there, and you're going to get 500 Stardust and 10 coins. And then the timer is going to start for 21 hours, and as long as no one's defeated your Pokemon, you get to collect it again. And it multiplies for every Pokemon in a gym. So if you have 2 Pokemon in a gym, you're going to get 1,000 Stardust and 20 coins. Now let's talk about if it is an opponent's gym. Let's say, for argument's sake, that there is 3 Pokemon in that gym. You're going to first fight it. Let's say you down the first one, you down the second one, and then you run out of Pokemon. They've all, quote unquote, fainted. And then you go into that gym. The 3 is now going to be 2, and then the 2 to 1. That's everything I've experienced when I'm fighting them. So you actually have to go through several times. So I end up burning through a lot of potions doing this method because I usually do it by myself. But you can actually fight simultaneously if you have some friends with you. As you're fighting the gym, they're also fighting the gym, and as you're watching the battle, you look around, you might actually see them in the arena with you. So let's touch on a little bit of the fighting, since that's going to be an important part here. A lot of my friends just kind of said they sat there or they just started tapping the screen because they didn't know what was going on. When you look at your Pokemon and you can see their attacks, you usually see there's a top one and then a bottom one, and it may have like a really long blue bar or a couple of dotted blue bars, and they each have different power ratings. You're tapping to attack, and as you're tapping to attack, you're building up like an aggro meter or rage meter, depending on what kind of games you've played, you might experience that. Like if you ever played World of Warcraft, you know that you used to have to attack in order to build up rage to use your skills. So that's essentially what you're doing. You're tap, 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 tap. You're building up that bar, and then you tap and hold, and then black bars will come down, kind of cinematic style, and that's when you'll unleash your heavy attack. And another key thing not to forget is that you can swipe left and right to dodge. That's really important for when you're fighting these higher CP enemies, which is especially critical if you are their weak, if rather they're your weakness. So you're a fire and you're fighting a water, you're going to want to try and dodge as much as possible and attack, attack, attack. One of the things that I actually do, if I know I can take down the first couple guys pretty easily, like you'll see here, I'm actually using my Arcanine to fight this Executor, which is a fire to a grass type. I know it's pretty easy. See, I'm trying to tap and hold right there. You can see the blue bar underneath my Arcanine's health. Boom, it just dinged, made a little flash. Now I can actually tap and hold, and that's going to bring it down. Of course, I defeated him too quickly, but you would see that right there. Cinematic, Arcanine used Fire Blast, and then, of course, I died. But, and then you can see we gained some experience. That was actually us fighting one of our own gyms to help boost it so that we could get all of our guys in. We're actually sitting in a park on a picnic bench, and I think there was about 15 other tables, and they were all half full of groups of people that were just doing nothing but trying to take this gym from us. So we were fighting as much as we could to try and beat it. I do want to talk about, I came home that night, and right there, Ivysaur, just in my living room. Every day when I get home, there's about 6 to 7 Pokemon just in my living room, right around. Sometimes I have to walk just like 15 feet outside of my apartment to catch a little bit more. I did actually catch a Snorlax right outside my apartment last night. 2 nights before that, I caught a Raichu. So I don't know what it is, but it's a hot spot at night, every night, because I usually stay up until about 2 a.m. Just catching Pokemon. So that, in a sense, is basically how to gym battle. They did talk about at Comic Con they might introduce trading, so that's something to watch out for. And here I'm just going through cleaning up everything that I had caught the previous day. Went ahead and put a lucky egg on, did the whole power leveling trick, and got a couple levels. I'm actually level 20 and a half right now. This is a couple days. As you can see here, I kind of cleaned everything up a little bit, and I went ahead and renamed, like I was telling you, I tested out the naming theory, which completely works. So if you are going to do a EV, try and do your highest CP as the one that you're actually wanting to use. I just did this one because it was the last one I needed. So we're good on that. I don't need any more EV evolutions, and honestly, I don't really want them. They're good for attacking gyms, not so much defending. This Vaporeon I actually used to down a couple gyms at the local mall. And man, it came in handy because everyone's running fire types out there, so it works out perfectly. I don't know what it is about my town, but basically all it spawns is Growliths and Ponytas. Another thing I want to talk about is you can see this Ponyta is a 699 CP. I've noticed that when you evolve, it goes almost by a multiple of 2. I've had a lot of people tell me that they haven't experienced that they've evolved a 600 CP, and it only came out to be about 800. But as you're going to see here, this one was 699, which, okay, let's just call it 700, and then it evolved into a 1024. So, I mean, honestly, if you do the math, it's about a 1.5, but I have noticed, like, that Vaporeon was almost 500, and it evolved into a 1200 CP. Another thing is we went ahead and Googled, I don't remember exactly what website it was. I'm showing you here with this Electabuzz. I didn't have my laptop with me to screen capture, so we're just running the camera. There are such thing as Pokemon nests. It's not where it spawns often. It is always spawning there. I ended up catching 3 that day. I'll show you in a second here because you couldn't really see the CP. I got 2 of them. One of them was only like an 80, but I got an 897 and a 983. Um, I've heard that a lot of electric types, their nest is at theme parks or anywhere that uses a lot of electricity, maybe even power plants. Obviously, don't go into power plants to try and catch these electric type Pokemon. That's a terrible idea. But in doing so, looking at these nests, I'm actually from the capital of California, from Sacramento. So we went ahead and looked up where the nearest nests were for every Pokemon, and we're about to take a San Francisco trip because there is an island, Alcatraz Island. It's an old jail. It's actually the spawning point for Magnemite and Voltorb, and then one of the piers is a Squirtle nest. So we're going to go ahead and try and catch as many Squirtles as we can, see if we can't make a Blastoise and get as close as possible to catching them all. And one other website I want to turn you guys on to is called the sylphroad.com. I'm going to link all of these in the description, but the Sylph Road goes ahead and it tells you what are the most powerful Pokemon right now. And Snorlax is up there, so I just thought it was a good idea to show you guys this next clip where my buddy's actually using his Snorlax to not only defend, he has two of them, but to also attack a gym. And it's just, man, he is just super powerful. He's actually ranked number 5. And his overall stats
Snorlax is
really,
fucking
really nice.
legit.
Check the description below.
He's better than my
Thumbs
Dragonite,
up,
and he's
like,
200
and,
less.
We'll see
I'm
you in
about
the
to
next
start
one.
working him up.
Hopefully we're in San Francisco catching everything we can.